Well, one, it says that they are overly committed, and overly, not in the negative connotation, overly in the connotation of they are committed beyond the expectations of everyone else, overly committed. And two, Sel, it tells me that they know something we didn't know. It tells me that the Browns finally realize what the rest of the world is coming to believe, which is Baker Mayfield is actually a quality, competent, bona fide starting quarterback, especially for the Cleveland Browns. Now, remember, for those that are like, well, this was only Baker's first good year. Baker shows up his rookie year with a coach who was 1-31 in his previous 32 games.
Did I just hear coach when you're talking about Baker? Uh-oh. Blame game. Okay, I'm sorry.
He shows up with a coach that was 1-31 in his previous 32.
And then what happened?
And then he ends up with another coach who made such an egregious call this year that we were wondering if he was trying to throw the game. That is Greg Williams.
Yeah,
and then he has another coach, Freddie Kitchens, who had never been a coach before in his life, a head football coach. So Baker Mayfield's first 2 years, he got 3 coaches. But then his third year, you give him a competent head coach in Kevin Stefanski, and he balls. So what the Browns showed me is not only they're committed, but they also showed me they have the common sense in realizing Baker Mayfield's shortcomings were not Baker Mayfield's fault. Baker Mayfield's shortcomings were a result of poor coaching. Ooh. Now you give a great player great coaching, and you see great results.
My turn? All right, okay. You know damn well. First of all, I have to address this and frame it properly because I know a lot of Cleveland Brown fans don't like me and they don't want me to come to Cleveland. Well, guess what? That makes 2 of us. I don't want to go to Cleveland either. I'm from L.A. and I'm going to stay here. Let's say this. I've always said pick up his 5th-year option. Why? It's cheap money. You're invested in the market, right? You got a financial planner, right? All those things. It's good times right now in terms of them cheap interest rates, right? Them low interest rates, it's cheap money. Guess what? Baker Mayfield, $18 million, cheap money. This has nothing to do about how good he is. This is a 2-year plan, basically. Baker Mayfield, show us who you really are. You could talk about the coaches of yesteryear. You could talk about last year in terms of the team success, even though they didn't drive the offense through Baker Mayfield. But Kevin Stefanski and this organization saying, you got 2 years, this year and next year. Prove yourself. And if you notice in this situation, $18 million puts them right in a prove-it position. What is $18 million in NFL? That is either a fringe starter or a backup player. Teddy Bridgewater, $21 million. Taysom Hill, $16 million. Right between there is $18 million. And that's where Baker Mayfield lands. You better hope that Baker Mayfield doesn't play between Taysom Hill and Teddy Bridgewater, because trust me, that's it for Baker Mayfield in Cleveland. So fans out there, don't get your hopes up too much because you might get what you're paying for. And if you get what you're paying for, $18 million quarterback, that's not the quarterback of the future. So this was a formality. Give him his money, give him his time and his runway to prove who he really is.
That's fair, but let's not act as though this was such a formality. Why do I say that?
What?
Mitch Trubisky. Mitch Trubisky ain't got that 5th-year option. Now, Mitch Trubisky, by statistical metrics, his last 3 years versus Baker's last 3 years, he crushes Baker in several statistical metrics. Overall record, 29-21 was Mitch. Baker's 23-22. Completion percentage, Mitch was a 64% completion percentage. Playoff appearances, Mitch went twice to Baker's 1. So Mitch crushes Baker Mayfield. I can't act like this is just a no-brainer formality because it wasn't a no-brainer for another team. The other thing is, I think, this belief in Baker Mayfield is going to cause further belief in himself, and it will lead to him thriving. Baker Mayfield,
he needed them to, he's like, we believe.
Yeah, I mean, don't your son need to believe?
He's 5, but yeah.
How old is Baker? Don't your daughter need a little bit of belief?
Yeah, she's 1.
I'm talking about your oldest daughter.
She's 2. I got kids, cuz. All right, my 22-year-old.
Yes.
I called her fat last night. She was mad at me. She getting big. I'm sorry, too much? Okay, anyway, no, she doesn't need me. The point is, she's isolated from my beliefs in her because she has her own beliefs in herself. Where's Baker's belief in himself? I'm just telling the truth. I talk too much.
Look, big dog, it's not guaranteed. One, it's not guaranteed because we see other teams haven't done it. Right. More importantly, Baker Mayfield has defied all the odds with everybody doubting him. My dog has defied all the odds. Even he survived terrible coaches. Remember, Josh Rosen didn't. Josh Rosen, number 10 overall pick. Yo, they threw him some bad coaches. I don't even know what squad he is on right now.
Facts.
I saw him during an NFL game sitting in the stands.
Facts.
I was like, hey.
He's on the 49ers.
Is he?
Yeah.
And he's behind Jimmy G, and they don't even want Jimmy G. Anyway, that's another conversation for another time. So with that being said, so it's like, now you're actually going to believe and commit to Baker Mayfield. No. Just wait to see the results that are going to come. Just wait to see the results that are going to follow. I'll end it by saying this, though.
Let's hear it.
I'm not convinced the Browns love Baker Mayfield. But I'm convinced of this.
Okay.
They like him enough to not want to see him with anybody else.
Yes.
And we got to digest that, right? Like, you can be in a relationship and you don't know if you want to propose just yet. You don't know if you want to be betrothed to her. You don't know if you want to spend the rest of your life. Betrothed. You know,
Lion King.
Throwback word. You don't know if you want to spend the rest of your life with that person, but you do know this. You don't want to see him dining with nobody else. You do know this. You don't want to see him walking down the street holding hands with nobody else. You do know this. You don't want to see them elsewhere. So you're not sure if you love them, but you love them enough to not leave them. And that's where the Browns are with Baker. We're not sure if we love him, but we love him enough to not want to see him with anybody else.
Okay. Whew, you're giving me so much ammunition. Let's not act like there's something special about a formality, okay? It's not. It's only special if you do something with it as a formality. Wake up in the morning, you have breakfast, right? Ain't nothing special about breakfast unless you make a bomb-ass breakfast. You know what I mean? If you're just eating cereal, it's just a formality. All right, I got to get something in my body. They say this is the most important meal of the day. Okay, cereal. Okay, pick up Baker's fifth-year option. Simple. Now, if Baker goes out there and start whipping it up, you know, cracking a few eggs, making some omelets up in that thing, ham and cheese, then we talking something. But boy, right now, this is just runway to prove who he is. It's a low-risk, high-reward situation, potentially. Let me say something positive about Baker Mayfield, because I always talk about how I think he's talented, but that gets lost in all the hate that comes out of my mouth as well. Only players in NFL history to throw for over 3,500 passing yards and 20 touchdown passes in each of the first 3 seasons are Peyton Manning, Andrew Luck, and Baker Mayfield. So it is a formality with an opportunity for him to go and grow and be the franchise quarterback they want. But however, let's not read too much into this as well, because they're starting at the back of the line for fifth-year options at quarterbacks. Think about that. Are they trying to pick up Josh Allen's fifth-year option right now? No. Are they trying to pick up Lamar Jackson's right now? No. You know why? They're having bigger, greater conversations about franchise quarterback money, hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars, not Teddy Bridgewater / Taysom Hill money. They're not talking those pennies. They're talking big bank. And in this situation, Baker Mayfield, I hope he looks in the mirror and realizes people have passed him up in his same draft class. Imagine that, Acho. I know you're competitive. I know you're mentally competitive. Every athlete is. Hopefully every person is out there in their own world and endeavors. When I got drafted 52, 53 on back, you ain't passing me. Like, when I saw Orlando Pace had a Pro Bowl year, I was like, yeah, he #1 pick in my class. Like, duh, you know what I mean? No, number 1 through 51, I give y'all a little bit of a pass, right? But 53 on, hell no. And then some of them did pass me. So the point is, Baker Mayfield, in your own draft class, in your own draft round, in the first round, a couple guys done passed you up already in this conversation. It's on you, this opportunity, this commitment, or lack thereof.
But, Sel, I don't think you're counting the reality of the blessings of the situation. What do I mean by that?
I like.
Formalities aren't always formal.
What are they, informalities?
Because, no.
What?
Formal is to be officially sanctioned or recognized, right?
Okay.
So formalities are not always recognized. What do I mean by that? You go to dinner with somebody.
Who?
In theory, it's a formality with your wife. In theory, it's a formality to open the door.
Yeah,
In theory, it's a formality to pull the chair out.
Yeah.
Like I said. In theory, it's a formality.
Yeah.
But formalities aren't always formal. Formalities aren't always recognized, because don't everybody open doors?
Facts.
Don't everybody pull chairs out? Don't everybody do that and acknowledge formalities? So while you may seemingly scoff at this formality, my point is very simple. Like, let's not get it twisted, big dog. These formalities ain't always formal. Not every first-round pick gets that fifth-year option picked up, even if they have performed better. So what does that mean? If I'm picking up the fifth-year option, even though Baker Mayfield's first 3 seasons haven't been as great or as grand as other quarterbacks whose fifth-year options haven't been picked up, then the Browns see something they want to commit to. Then the Browns see something they want to hitch their wagon to. Then the Browns see what I don't think you see and what I don't necessarily see yet, in that, what I see a little bit, but they see even further than me, which is, wait a second, Baker Mayfield is our guy. Because these formalities that we just kind of scoff at, they not always formal, big dog.
Oh, boy, stop. Okay, formalities are formal, whatever the hell we're going to get into. I love it. Because you were talking about opening the door and pulling out the chair. Yeah, chivalry, right?
Yes, sir.
I remember the first time, I don't know how old I was. See, I'm a different thinker, and I like it. And, I remember seeing my daddy do that to my mama. You know what I'm saying? Open the door, and then, pull the door and pull the chair. I was like, Dad. Then I started watching his eyes. He opened the door and he's like, your mama fine. I was like, Daddy, are you being polite to mama? Or are you really checking my mama out? Oh, that's how I got here. So the point of it is, it's not always well intended that you do something formal. Just try to point that out. Y'all gonna catch that later. Here's the thing, big dog. Baker Mayfield got 2 years. 2 years. How many? 2 or deuces. 2 deuces. That's it. Peace. Get up out of here, Baker Mayfield. All on you. He's on sale right now. And you over here acting like this was on their Christmas list. Like, Mom, Dad, when you have kids, you're going to hear this. Mom, Dad, my son talks about Christmas already. December, and we're right now in April. My son's like, I want this for Christmas. I want this for Christmas. Baker's on sale. So when you go on to get what you really want, Denzel Ward, 5th-year option for real, you got to pick that up. That boy a beast. You look around and you see Baker Mayfield on sale, $18 million. You're like, Thursday night, midnight, Friday morning. All right, we pick up Baker Mayfield. Meanwhile, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, they on that shelf you can't reach. And that's what they're doing right now. I love the opportunity that's presented to Baker Mayfield, but I'm not going to let you cook the books and the resume and make it seem like he's earned all of it.
I'm not going to cook him. What I'm going to say is this. Kevin Stefanski, 11 wins in 1 year, more than each of the Browns head coaches during their last 7 head coaches' entire tenures.
That's sick.
Like, Kevin Stefanski's 11 wins in 1 year, big dog. So I think it's this. We can't sit here and scoff at the success that Baker Mayfield's having in Cleveland. We've talked about this before. I got to bring it back again.
We're doing this.
We have to. Here's why we have to.
Okay.
Because you are trying to compare the kid that's in the school in the projects to the kid that was at the school I went to, St. Mark's, where you wear a uniform and it's college preparatory and you're supposed to be a national merit scholar. You can't compare, them two cats, and that's what you're doing. Baker Mayfield is in Cleveland Browns. He at the school in the projects. You compared him to Lamar Jackson, who went to an organization that was in the Super Bowl 6 years prior, won a Super Bowl 6 years prior. You're comparing him
the year he
to
started,
Lamar
though?
Jackson,
They were losing.
who was in an organization that has proved historical competency. The Ravens have won 2 Super Bowls since the Browns had last gone to the playoffs.
Right.
So you can't compare Baker Mayfield and his educational prowess, his athletic prowess, and the Browns to Lamar Jackson and the Ravens. Dare I say, you really shouldn't even compare it to your Bills and Josh Allen. Because even they went to the playoffs. You
One
got to remind
time
me,
since
but Tyrod
99,
Taylor in like 2017. So you can't compare my dog Baker and his achievements in the projects, big dog, to the kids in private school wearing uniform. You know what I'm saying? Where the teacher to student ratio is 7 to 1. You're not right. You're not right for doing all that.
Okay, I'll walk with you there. Okay, Run with you there? I'm already sweating. I ain't running no more. He's at a bad school. Cleveland Browns, historically bad. Yes. But we got to keep standards. If you don't want to keep them level, at least keep them above board. He can't be a valedictorian at a bad school with a 2.1 GPA. That's just not going to happen, but that's what you want to do. Dog, listen to this GPA. Worst completion percentage. Worse than Case Keenum. Worse than Cal Allen. Fewer yards per attempt than Nick Mullins. You know how we feel about Nick Mullins. Only Jared Goff has more giveaways, I should say, than Baker in 2018. It's okay. It's a bad school. I get it. But even from bad schools, guys go to Harvard, Columbia, et cetera. One-offs. But you can't be valedictorian with a 2.1,
But here's the kicker,
and that's what Baker Mayfield looks like.
Here is the difference, and I'm glad we're here, and I'm glad y'all here with us.
Okay.
Because the difference is this. You can still be valedictorian at your school. Baker Mayfield may pale in comparison to what Lamar Jackson has done with the Ravens. But Lamar Jackson went to an organization that already had a defense that was on point, a head coach that has won a Super Bowl, a head coach that had been there for years. He had a general manager that was competent
and retiring.
and put talent around him instantly and imminently.
And they were sorry,
and
though.
you sitting here trying to compare Baker to – no, do this, y'all. Please do
Let me get
this.
some of these ribs.
Compare Baker Mayfield to everyone who came before him. Compare Baker Mayfield to Johnny Manziel. Compare Baker Mayfield to Brandon Whedon. Compare Baker Mayfield to Brady Quinn. Compare Baker Mayfield to my dog Colt McCoy. Compare Baker Mayfield to Tim Couch. Compare Baker Mayfield to Robert Griffin and all the quarterbacks in between. And you'll be like, dang, this is the smartest student that's walked through here since 1988. We've never seen a quarterback this competent. We've never seen anyone this smart. Stop trying to leave the other school and be like, oh, what they got going on over there? That's a nice little fancy school. Look at what Baker Mayfield has done in Cleveland compared to what everybody has done in Cleveland. He's the greatest to walk through the school in 30 years, Sal. The greatest.
Yeah, he's the smartest kid at the dumbest school. So good for you. But you know what? We're going to have to give you a standardized test before you get into my university. And here's the standardized test. Oh, Baker Mayfield, since you've been a quarterback in the NFL, why are you 33rd ranked in completion percentage? Ooh, that's a bad SAT.